Good morning, guys. It's about 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday, and it is Mother's Day. So to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. You can see we got the P7000 fired up, and another very, very profitable day printing one sheet. This sheet is, what was it total? $96.50. Again, many of you out there have contacted us, and they say that the prices and what we're looking at as far as ROI seems outrageous. Let me explain exactly what you're looking at. Again, with a printer of this caliber, regardless of the brand, this one's Epson, of course, there's Canon, you're looking at a robot that literally, I consider it prints cash. You just have to understand the niche you're in, and you're rest assured to make quite a bit of money. And the main reason that is, of course, is because not a lot of people have access to these types of robots. These production robots have been out for quite some time, but unless you have access to them, again, the cost is prohibitive of who actually has access to this type of equipment. Now again, you can see what's coming out here. We've got our Made in America. This is nose art. And again, this goes on a lot of RC aircraft. This is very, very popular nose art. I remastered that years ago. But you can see in here, we've got some aggressive shark teeth. These are really, really popular. And again, not too much to this. I mean, this sheet, I believe, is 17 by 23. And you do the math, guys. I mean, I don't know anyone making that kind of money. And again, I started this recording maybe 2 to 3 minutes in of the printer actually printing. So add an additional 2 to 3 minutes, hell, add 5 minutes. And I don't know of many jobs that are going to pay you this level of income, considering the fact that there's a very low stress level. And when I say that, many of you out there understand it who are in production or doing anything where we're dealing with product sales. Until you actually cross that barrier, for many of you out there who haven't actually done product sales, you don't understand what it's like to not have to worry about punching that time card. And no matter what you do, no matter how many hours you work, no matter how fast you drive to work, you're essentially making the same thing. And you're limited to that same thing because you can only work so many hours in a day. And many of you already know that. And again, looking at something like this, especially now, when we've gotten quite a few messages on, the P7000 is an expensive printer. I can't afford something like that. I get told a lot, and I break it down for them. I'm like, well, right now, gas is about $5 a gallon. I know by me it is. It's right now, I think, usually teeters at like $4.80 to $5.02 a gallon, which is insane. So when you break that down, even if you're going through a tank of gas, 14-gallon tank, you're roughly looking at what, $280 if you're driving moderately. So break it down, unless you have an electric vehicle or what you're looking at in terms of where you're working. By the time you break all of that down, think about what the payment is on a machine like this that's based in, could be a room in your house, preferably. We have clients working in their garage. I'm not a big fan of exterior work because, again, these are high-dollar robots, and they are, again, it's very similar to painting. I don't know why you'd want to work in your garage, but everybody to each their own. If you're in a climate-controlled environment, a clean environment, again, I can't think of a better business model. It's very, very simple to get started. You don't need a high-end printer like this, but even when you factor that in comparison-wise to what it costs for you to go to your daily day job, which most people hate anyways, look at the facts. You can easily finance one of these pieces of equipment, and within a month, unless you are literally sitting on your hands for hours a day, it's almost impossible not to at least make the payment on the equipment. I mean, I find it, right now we get a lot of messages that even in terms of how much ROI people are making, and they're like, we're not making that much, but we're making well enough to, overcompensate for the job that we currently work. And I love those kind of messages because it proves the fact that, again, you don't need high-end equipment in terms of, $5,000 to $7,000 on a machine like this to still get professional results when you understand the substrates and the quality you're working with. Okay? When we say that, There's a reason why we only bundle 3M products with our actual vinyl, and that is the main reason, the quality. You can rest assured that when your clients get whatever you're designing as far as your graphics, even if it's a product label, they're getting the best. And once again, we do custom cut based on what our clients need. If you message us, and we get that a lot, we get a lot of questions, hey, my printer can only do 13 by 19, it's a real popular size right now. Okay, get with us, we'll give you the best price we can directly on the 13 by 19, and on top of that, we'll bundle it with the proper laminate. Now again, we do get a lot more questions daily on, is the material waterproof by itself? No, of course not. It's inkjet material, and the thing to keep in mind is, just like a base coat, clear coat paint job, your base coat on your vehicle is just for color. Well, that's exactly what we're doing here. We're printing and laying down our color, and the printer's finishing up right now, and you can see just how clear those graphics are. Okay? And now what we're going to do is add the finishing touch. So look at your laminate like a clear coat. It's going to go over it, it's going to protect all of our ink, it's going to seal the graphics from moisture and again any type of climate penetration, and that's really what you're looking at. You're looking at durability. You know, there's a giant misconception out there about using these eco-solvent printers, and there's this thing about them being magical to some degree that, you know, eco-solvent is so much more superior than inkjet. Well, guess what, guys? If you're not laminating your eco-solvent prints, you're basically in the same boat as an inkjet. The claims of them lasting so much longer is all subjective based on the environment they're put in, no different than inkjet. Okay? Inkjet, we know, is more susceptible to humidity and moisture versus an eco-solvent. But let's look at the price. And that's what we always tell our clients. Look at the price. If you're trying to get involved in this and you want to drop, you know, $15,000, $20,000 on a printer this size, do it. I mean, you might get one used. We've had a lot of clients buy used equipment, and I have to say probably 80% of them have problems with the used equipment because what they're told is never usually 100% accurate. I've said that in previous videos. You know, 9 out of 10 times people don't sell these type of robots without some type of issue. And I'm not saying it's all the time, I'm saying the majority of times. And if you expect someone to tell you every single issue the machine has, I would tell you guys to proceed with extreme caution. Even if you had to take out a loan and you want to go that route for eco-solvent, make sure you're buying equipment that you're going to get some level of support and some level of understanding of what's the truth behind it. Because again, if you're buying something from an outdated graphics industry where, again, they've basically shelved their machine, you don't know how long it's been on the shelf, you don't know how long it's been since the print head's been cleaned and been serviced, I mean, you really don't know what you're purchasing. So again, I cannot emphasize enough, taking your time, do it right, buy what you can afford, and look at printers, if you're looking at getting started in this, that are going to give you the biggest ROI with the least amount of investment, at least in the beginning. And then once you see, hey, you know what, I've got files now, I can start producing stuff, I'm starting to get my ROI up, the business grows by itself. You really don't have to do too much. People are going to see your work, they're going to be happy with it, and once they're happy with it and they see that you have a mass attention to detail, then you're good to go. I mean, it's really that simple. And we can see up here again, there's the time, guys. And I started it. I showed you where I started just before 5:30. The print is done. We're going to go laminate now. That'll take probably another 10 minutes. And basically after that, we do the cutting on the Summa. And you'll see this print basically be finished instantly. And we're looking at what? Maybe give or take, tops on time, we'll say 30 minutes. We'll give it 30 minutes. But it's still incredible. And the beauty of this whole thing, we all know, I don't care what you're paying for these actual sheets, if you break it down at the quality level you're looking at, you'll easily be able to make your ROI back on the sheet and your equipment just that fast. You can adjust the pricing on any exterior graphics you have. Like right now, we have a couple clients that ordered the shark teeth, but if you think about it, all the extras, you're going to make money on anyways, because the sheet's already paid for, the ink in the machine is already paid for. If you want to factor in electric, that's fine. This machine really turns itself off. I mean, realistically, the overhead on this equipment is so low, it's absolutely ridiculous. If you're doing border-to-border prints, again, you're going to charge accordingly. They do have the accounting software with the Epson, which is amazing. It tells you exactly what your print cost is based on ink usage. Very, very simple accounting process. It's like I said, it's virtually impossible for you not to know your overhead, and virtually impossible not to make money with this equipment. I mean, even on a high-end loan with high interest, thinking about one sheet at this cost, think about what you're making, even if you're doing 2 or 3 prints a weekend. You know, if you want to work your day job, work your day job. No one's telling you to quit it. But think in terms of building a business on the side, so no longer are you stuck at that day job. Work your way out. Do it smart. You know, put your time aside. Look at the time you can create stuff like this, and then I really think it's super easy to give you that door out to say, hey, you know what, I'm building equity in myself, and then I can move on from there. I mean, that's how I started, and now I actually have 3 businesses. So once you do that, get them multiple streams of income coming, everything gets easier. You know, that $100 a day that most people feel is in general society is decent money. It's very easy to make that when you're working with equipment like this that produce arts like this. So when you look at that, keep that in mind. I'm going to go now and laminate this, stop flapping my gums, and you guys will check out the finished product. I'll do a continuation there. Everybody likes seeing that, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Okay guys, we are loading up the Summa right now. Everything now is set. And you can see artwork is going in. Just going to move the light out of the way because when she's scanning registration and taking measurements, we don't want to affect anything. You can see it's measuring the sheet now. Now we're going to do our alignment with the triangle. You can see the triangle right over here. That lets you know your end of your sheet. And you want to position your head, the actual head of the cutter, over the first box for registration. We get a lot of questions on that. We have to manually do this because we use a lot of different size sheets. So if you're using a standardized sheet, you may not have to, depending on how you set up your own Summa. Right now, she's checking everything, validate everything, and now we're doing measurements. You can see that opus going into work through taking the measurements. And this is being timed in real time, so you'll see exactly how long a sheet like this takes to cut. Once again, from the previous portion of the video where we were printing, over here, and now we're over here. Final measurement. Let's cut. There you go. So I want you guys just to look at this. We've got an area here set aside at about, I'd say maybe 150 to 200 square feet where this equipment's at. Because we get a lot of people saying that you need a lot of room. You don't need a lot of room. What you need is to understand what you're purchasing when you get involved with stuff like this. You're really looking at a high level of production availability, especially with 24-inch printer, and again, looking at this size cutter, you really are virtually unlimited in what you can do, because a lot of people don't realize the Epson is able to print, I think it's like 100 feet long. So where you can't print as wide, you can certainly make up for the difference in length. These are things to always consider in what you're looking at. Again, I'm just going to get in there so you can see that tangential head doing its job. We got our weed boxes in. Now it's cutting our sharks. We're right now at about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And it just keeps doing its thing. Again, we do have weed boxes around them as well. Certain graphics you'll find you'll want to use a weed box, makes things faster, and then other times it's not as critical on larger graphics. There you go. She just moved the light over. I don't know if that helps, but you can definitely see the reflectiveness of that 3M8518, and that's why we use it the way we do it. It literally looks like wet paint. Watch up here too, you can see your head rotating. There's your weed box for that group. Moving on. Give you a better perspective. Keep in mind, guys, what you're looking at per set of these shark teeth is about $9.50, I believe, and that's on the high end. That's our retail price, meaning that's what we usually sell a set for. Now, naturally, you can always reduce the price after you've already made back the price of your investment on your vinyl, naturally, your laminate, and of course your inks. Then it's up to you. If you just want to off the graphics, it really doesn't matter. It's an endless production method, and it's really up to you on how much you want to make. But breaking it down, if we were to sell this entire sheet the way it is right now, we're looking well over $90. So pretty amazing to do in the amount of time. And right now we're coming up literally 3 seconds short of 5 minutes on this video. And you're all set. You can see, because we get a lot of questions on the Summa screen, and very, very intuitive, very, very simple. You can see here your rollers, and again, they are knurled and they are brass. The cutting strip, amazing. The quality of this machine, not just because I've owned it, because like I stated in previous videos, we have a CE6000 from Graphtec, which is still a quality machine. This machine exceeds everything I've ever seen. In so many different ways. Your rollers lock into position, so you can see your marks right here. As you go to push them over the rollers, there's no misguiding them in terms of misalignment as they actually center themselves and lock. The only one that doesn't, of course, is the far right one, and that's mainly because you would just have to based on your sheet width. Super, super machine. And again, we're wrapping it up here at 6 minutes. I'm gonna finish these now. We'll weed them up, and you guys can see once again how easy this is, and I hope many of you at least try it. I mean, Jesus, you can buy an 8x11 sheet if you want to just do one print. We recommend at least buying 10 of them, because it's going to take a couple sheets for you to probably get familiar with the substrates. But by the time you see how easy this is, using a quality inkjet printer, once again, something in the neighborhood of $300 to $500, it's pretty hard to go back to, you never forget where you came from, so to speak, in terms of, oh my God, is it really this easy to possibly make money? When I say possibly, it's a question of your marketing ability. Once you see the artwork, the robots do the work, then it's up to you to market everything and get it sold. So again, guys, I hope the video's been helpful. We'll wrap it up now, show you how the finished product looks in a second. Okay, guys, this is the finished product. Of course, we've already weeded everything. You can see that right from the weed boxes, we do have the outline there that's left. And again, the finished product is right there. Just pan that light over. And you can see exactly what we're left with. And again, the detail on the Made in America, you can definitely see all of those cuts. Once again, you need a really, really well-calibrated cutter, and that's the beauty of using the Summa. You can really get in there and do all of those really articulated cuts. So again, this is it. We're looking at, again, well over $90. You saw the whole process from beginning to end. We were printing, Lamination, of course, was done off camera, but the cutting process, again, add another 10 minutes, like I said earlier, for the actual lamination process, and you can see exactly what we're left with. And the finish, I think, speaks for itself of why we choose the 3M 8518. So again, guys, I thank you for your support. And again, if you have any questions or require custom cut substrates, once again, message us direct. You'll see the contact information at the end of the video. You can contact Joanna or Vince, myself. And once again, CG Vinyl, you can also contact us through eBay. You'll see the links in the video description. Thank you again for your support. Take care.